we tested Star Trek Resurgence at the recent Summer Game Fest in Los Angeles. This new game based on the most popular and longest-running sci-fi series in history promises to be a high-level adventure in keeping with the most intelligent and adored Star Trek. Star Trek Resurgence clearly resumes Telltale's storytelling methodology. It is the developers themselves that repeat it numerous times, which surprises us given that most developers dislike this type of analogy and prefer to focus on the new features, on the traits that distinguish the project. The situation becomes clearer when it is revealed that Kevin Bruner, one of the 3 founders of Telltale Games, of which he was also CEO for a short time, is the CEO of the newly founded Dramatic Labs, the software firm dealing with Star Trek Resurgence. But that's not all. More than 20 former Telltale's employees are working on this game, accounting for nearly all of the company's workforce. And it appears that they have learned the most crucial lesson: users are irritated by the segmentation of their trips into episodes. Star Trek Resurgence is not an episodic game. When it arrives in stores, it will contain all you need to get to the credits, which will be definitive until a prospective sequel is released. We won't have to wait months and months for it to advance its tale, which already demonstrated a level of intricacy that would be unsuitable for the rarefied times of a structure like The Walking Dead or Life is Strange by Dontnod. The good news does not appear to stop there. As anticipated by the developers, what we have tried is merely the tip of the iceberg of a project that will lead us to other locales and will not spare us more exciting moments where the phasers will speak. Of course, don't anticipate Gears of War-style action in Resurgence. Instead, expect a more cerebral approach. We had the option to play 2 separate sequences in the 20 minutes we had with the pad, chosen to allow us to get to know both of the protagonists of Star Trek Resurgence. In the first, we encountered Officer Jorah Rydek, who had been dispatched with his Vulcan mentor, Spock, in the presence of the Queen of the Hotari, who was now at odds with the Illydians over control of the valuable dilithium. This is not a straightforward situation. The Space Federation must come clean, and everything happens through the more traditional multiple-choice replies, which will naturally lead to diverse outcomes and events depending on the choices selected. The second scene features engineer Carter Diaz and a colleague, both at the controls of a spacecraft observing various phenomena in the surrounding space. The atmosphere is more relaxed here, typical of more reflective Star Trek episodes where the setting and the suffused sounds of the command terminals are the masters. In this instance, we will have limited control over the spaceship in addition to determining what to say during the communication with our adventure buddy. Star Trek Resurgence is still technically up and down. The game does not use the standard Telltale style, which is also useful for masking money and time restrictions, instead opting for a more realistic approach, which is not always followed. Clearly, things are bound to improve with time, but great miracles should not be expected. On the other hand, the choice of voices, music, and sound effects are excellent, which is critical for making a Trekker deserving of the title feel immediately at ease. Of course, this is not a project worthy of the 2 best Star Trek games ever created, the 2 graphic adventures released in 1992 and 1995, 25th anniversary and final unity, but it is a welcome return to a genre more suited to the franchise.